Do you know the best way to visit and see a new place? Find somebody who's lived there and have them take you through all the best bits. The bits only a local would know. A lot of travellers miss Wales when they go to the UK, which is a shame. It is a green and pleasant land full of nature and beauty, history. So you have a local doing just that today, and to boot we're going to work on a few watercolour paintings. So you know the deal, put your feet up, grab a nice drink and relax. Let's go for a nice walk. So let me run this by you. Hello, croeso I Cymru. Hello and welcome to Wales. This little stream right here, and this cute little area. I used to come with my mom and my sister. We'd have picnics over there. Just got home a couple of days ago. It's been a long time. It's been, 9 years or so since I was back in Wales. Well, that didn't take long. It's pissing down with rain in sunny Wales. This is actually the middle of the summer. It's August, and as I tried to say a minute ago, but I wasn't recording, just talking to myself. You don't come to Wales for the weather. I've come here to see my sister and brother and their kids. I have lived in California for decades, and many times I've had people say to me, Wales, where is Wales? Well, the Welsh live right next door to the English, which is great because they make a fabulous cup of tea. We speak an ancient language, Cymraeg, yr hen iaith, and when you come to visit, you will find the Welsh both warm and welcoming. Okay, this is Bedwas, St. Barrow's Church. It's here behind me, that stone grave just behind the bench. My friends and I, when we were kids, I was born just up the street here, about 100 yards away. We used to play Dead Man's Fall, shoot each other off that, and whoever did the best death in a graveyard, which is disgraceful, but kids, what do they care? We'll get to shoot next. Different times, huh? I typically work with photographic reference for drawings like this, but I hadn't sketched for a long time, so I needed the practice, I needed the challenge, needed to make sure I could still draw. So I kept the company of one of the local residents for half a day and made the initial drawing on plein air. I did this inking stage in the comforts of my sister's kitchen table, and lots of lovely cups of tea and kutches from kids, and with new babies cooing in the background. Those babies are born in a beautiful place with beautiful parents, grandparents and grandchildren all within reach of one another. That's how it should be. Pubs are closing down right, left and centre in Wales and Britain these days, with this one still going strong. My family weren't drinkers, but this was the local just down at the end of the street. I went in there and one of the fellas asked me, "What's your name? You look like someone I knew." "Good chap," I says, "James Good chap." "Ah, I knew your Uncle Jimmy." Church House was one of his locals. He used to go in there. He was my favourite uncle and closest thing that I had to a dad. Who wish that boy was here to tell us some stories. He was a boy and a half. My Uncle Jim Good chap. This is a 12th century church. My family and I have been christened, married, buried in this place. I saw a sign on the church door. No, not from Martin Luther, but from the Caerphilly's Ladies Choir, announcing Gymanthig Annie, celebration of singing, Wales being the land of song, coming up very shortly, so we popped in. And there's a little more of that lovely singing on my video, painting Bedwas Church. I will include links at the end of the video. So we know the deal. You have your feet up and you have a nice drink in your hand. Something cold, something warm maybe. My videos about art, trails and tales are designed to help people relax. Maybe be inspired to do some art if that's your thing. And I know a lot of people can't get out and about these days, maybe for financial reasons, maybe health problems. So I'm officially inviting you to come along with us on these trails and on these travels. I'm making these videos for you. And I know people aren't talking about it, but there's an awful lot of isolated, lonely people out there in the world today. And I am frequently one of them. So do please keep me company, I'll keep you company. Drop me a line in the comments, let's connect. I don't have a million viewers, and maybe not likely to with a subject as eclectic as art trails and tales, but let's you and I touch bases. I'm reaching out with a share of feel-good art to you, and I would love it if you would make my day and give me a shout back. Cheers. Not going yet, mind you. Stay there, stay there. We're about to have our painting interrupted by these buggers. Not the first time they've interrupted. People just trying to hang out in rural Wales. You see, what it was that the Normans brought to Britain at that time was a technology. Nothing new about this technology in the form of a bow that can shoot an arrow further than anybody else, but what the Normans brought to Britain that nobody had an answer for was stone technology, castles. You build something out of stone, it's fairly clear that it was here to stay. And I'm sure they considered the fact that some nearly 1,000 years later some artist would want to paint them just wonderfully all day long. All day long. I call this painting Moonrise, Caerphilly Castle. Across the valley at night from my sleepy bedroom in Bedwas, I could see the castle. It was lit up at night. An old legend had it, lots of those going around in Wales, that a witch, a green lady, frequented the castle at night looking for her long lost lover. Absolute bollocks, of course, but they lit up the castle with green lights at night and it looked lovely. And now we've just painted it and it looks lovely again. Now this is another Norman castle that they built just over the hill from Caerphilly. Welsh rebels made it into a pile of rubble, and several centuries later a mega rich fella called the Marquis of Bute rebuilt it with lovely red sandstone. That's where it got its name, Castle Coch, Red Castle. But also called the Fairy Castle because it looks like a fairy castle and it has fairies all around it. I've seen them. My mother took me there, and my sister. She'll confirm that story. The Marquis of Bute, you see, he knew something, or he suspected something that nobody else did. So he bought mineral rights to an awful lot of land, most of South Wales land, which is where we found one of the richest deposits of high carbon coal in the world. And then he financed the building of railways from up in the valleys to take the coal down to Cardiff, to the docks in Barry and Newport, where he built massive docks, biggest docks in the world. He took that coal everywhere. And he made absolute gazillions. Well done. So while coal miners and steel makers were working for next to nothing, 6-year-old kids working down the mine, pregnant women working until their babies dropped, no compensation for an injury or a loss of life, the family just went hungry. They were forced to buy food from the company shop, sold at outrageous prices. You've already learned that the Welsh know how to knock down castles, and I'll tell you more about that later in the video, okay? But he did commission this place as a hunting lodge for himself and his other rich Bavarian friends to come over from Europe. I think he used the hunting lodge 2 or 3 times ever. That all said, his taste in art was sublime. These walls are replete with just the most luxurious nature-themed and Greek mythology-themed artwork I've ever seen. The castle was located very strategically high up on a very steep, defensible hill overlooking Cardiff and the wonderful and the very famous River Taff. The Welsh are often referred to as Taffs or Taffies. Taff is a friendly term of endearment. Taffy, however, is used in a more pejorative context. It's still better than being called sheepshagger, though. Oh, I love this one. Greek mythology, the 3 Fate sisters. Clotho, the spinner of life. See the baby at the feet? Lachesis, the allotter. And Atropos, the inevitable. Well, I went to the castle with the intention of making an en plein air drawing again, as I did with the church, but there was some significant
restoration work going on, so parts of the castle is covered in scaffolding, lovely artwork, but not to be drawn. So we enter Plan B. We found a postcard at the gift shop. The tree, ferns and stream there is from a photograph I took whilst walking back home later on in the day. There's a morning mist that comes up frequently from the River Taff, the Avon Taff, just below the castle. I've seen this castle under those conditions, just floating in the clouds above the valley. Beautiful. Well then, after that treat, we popped back over the mountain through Caerphilly, walked back to Bedwas. A couple of my nephews and I did an absolutely wonderful walk back down from top of Caerphilly mountain, back down through Rudry and into Bedwas. Delightful. Look at these pictures here. Richard, my nephew, took this picture of me, taking a picture of that, which is too much fun. Which is a great photographer, really, really good. I had a chance to make a quick stopover visit in Newport, my old college town. So I told you a little bit earlier about how the Welsh are prone to knocking down castles if you arrive uninvited, and share with you what it was like to be working class in South Wales in the mid-19th century. The Newport Chartist Rising, November the 4th, 1839, the largest armed rebellion against British authority in the 19th century, led by John Frost, Zephaniah Williams and William Jones. Thousands of Welsh Chartists marched on the Westgate Hotel in Newport. Their demands included democracy and the right to vote with a secret ballot. The Queen's Dragoons waited inside the Westgate Hotel doors, opened fire on men carrying shovels. Dozens of brave Chartists were killed, many more injured. A few soldiers sustained injuries. Their leaders were convicted of treason and deported, never to see their home, family or friends again. The Chartists are my heroes, actually. Modern day reverence for the crown. I would say despite the history, but really it's more a case of just not knowing the history anymore. Of these new trains, we're going to Cardiff. And this then is the spectacular Millennium Stadium. Incredibly happy to say my first visit here, not before time. Wales is a nation passionate about rugby. Coming here was nothing short of a dream come true, to be honest. Well, it's only a matter of time before a career brand identity designer and a Welshman is going to put this dragon art together. The original and current Welsh dragon flag is absolutely spectacular, very traditional line drawing way, but I had in mind to do something a little different. I stayed with the official proportions, and this is what came out of many years of stomping over misty hills in Wales, a passion for a hen lad and a love of the graphic art. That makes me feel fantastic. Nature always puts me in a good place. And there really is nothing quite like the right kind of company. Now, you heard me say this before. I know a lot of you out there can't get out and about right now. And these videos are made especially for you. I hope you come along with us and enjoy the walks, even talking to dogs. Drop me a quick line, let me know you're out there. And nothing would thrill me more than seeing some of your art. These are the darling details you see when you go for walks. You don't see this stuff from your car. Made this little pencil drawing when I was 15, the old White Arch Bridge, which was demolished for no reason at all. I got to work as a student in Bedwas Coke Ovens for 4 consecutive summers. Loved it. Loved the guys.
So we're up on Bedwas Mountain. A very, very pleasant morning. Getting in some steps, and this is Mynydd Grug is the name of, this is the mountain. No, they're not like that in California, but that's how they come here. And Bedwas is down there, and that's a slag heap. What's a slag heap, you ask? It's where they dumped all the unwanted coal or slag, that stuff that wouldn't burn but still came out of the mine, the coal mine just down there. I don't know if you're getting this. And that's where they dumped all their crap. And if you look way over there, that little bump, I don't know if I can zoom in, I will later. That's another slag heap. Yuck. But more importantly, this is Marley baby. Where's she to? This is. Look at this. This is my little walking companion. She's the Marley girl. Isn't she lovely? Yep.
Back to our roots. Back to where it all started, eh? So see you next week.
Stay there. Hey, sit. Molly, can you sit? Can you sit, baby girl? Molly, sit. So you don't want one call. You can just stand there, look cute. How's that? Hey, baby. So busy.
Well, that was that. Time to head back to California from London to San Diego. All in one day. Amazing. And after a little break, after losing Happy, I knew it was time for a pup. So second day back in San Diego, Taylor and I went to the animal shelter and he picked this puppy out. What a great choice. Well done, kid. I was looking for him. He was looking for me.